morning Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
A meeting between Guyana's president and opposition leader ends with no agreement on elections, even as the constitutional deadline approaches. Our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Wednesday, March 6th. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Dawn Paris. Good evening. President David Granger and opposition leader Barrett Jagdeo are still not in agreement on the way forward for elections, despite meeting on a Wednesday to discuss the issue. And they left the talks with differing opinions on just how useful the talks were. Jagdeo has been calling for regional and general elections to be held by March 19th, in keeping with the 90-day constitutional deadline following the passage of a no-confidence motion against the coalition government on December 21st last year. But the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, says it can't hold credible elections by then, and the government is also appealing a court ruling that upheld the validity of the motion. In a statement issued after Wednesday morning's meeting, which lasted just over an hour, President Granger described the talks as useful and fruitful.
Both sides are working towards the solution of the issues which now confront us. And I think we had a very positive approach. As you know, there are four processes taking place. One is the importance of the National Assembly. Second is the judicial process. Third is the executive process. And fourth is GECOM. The engagement this morning focused largely on the role of GECOM, because it is only GECOM, an independent agency, which could determine when elections will be held. The president or the executive or any other body cannot intervene, cannot intrude, cannot interfere with the work of GECOM. So we have to allow GECOM to do its work.
President Granger has undertaken to meet with GECOM to discuss the earliest date by which general elections can be held. Then he hopes to meet with Jagdeo again.
On the 25th of February, wrote the chairman of GECOM, indicating that I am prepared to enter consultations with him to ensure that credible elections are held in as short a time as possible. And I would like to meet him again. In fact, I'd like to meet the entire commission to determine what their needs are in terms of time and money. So the door is open. The leader of the opposition has agreed to meet again. The people of Guyana could be assured that we are working to ensure that elections are held, credible elections are held in as short a time as possible. There's no crisis. There are issues which have to be resolved, and most of those issues will depend on what I hear from GECOM when I consult them.
But the opposition leader is suggesting that the talks did not achieve much. Jagdeo went into the meeting on the condition that at the top of the agenda would be a date set for elections before the expiration of the existing voters list on April 30th. But he told reporters there was no progress on that issue.
The president indicated that he's prepared to discuss a date, but that GECOM will have to be ready. So I said to him, clearly, you're the president of Guyana. You have a duty to uphold the Constitution of Guyana. GECOM is a creature of the Constitution. GECOM cannot override the Constitution, and therefore, unless we have a discussion on the date, I'm not prepared to move forward on any other issue on the agenda. So we did not get past the first issue on the agenda. The president said, why not meet GECOM jointly? And I said to him, no, we have absolutely no interest in meeting GECOM jointly, that he should meet GECOM himself because he has the duty as president to call elections. And then we are not accepting them going to house-to-house registration, because house-to-house registration would delay the elections for at least 8 months.
Jagdeo was adamant that safeguards could be put in place to ensure credible polls.
The state can pay for 3 polling agents from both parties to sit in every polling place to ensure only people who are eligible to vote, vote, so that you don't have to worry about the quality of the list or padding, etc. But it is not GCOM. GCOM cannot override the Constitution. What if GCOM is not ready for 2 years, I asked him. Then does that mean that we never have elections in Guyana again, if GCOM is never ready? So the president said that he will now meet with the whole commission and he wants to meet back. And I said, yes, we can meet back, but only on an election date. And it cannot be a date far into the future. I made a proposal already. I believe it's a credible proposal to have elections before the 30th of April. I said, at this point in time, we are not going to extend the life of the government unless there is an agreement to a date that is credible and close to the constitutional requirement.
An opposition legislator in the British Virgin Islands has stepped down just over a week after being re-elected. Parliamentary representative for the 4th electoral district, Mark Vanterpool, cited personal reasons for his decision to quit active politics. In a video statement posted on Facebook on Tuesday, the MP, who was re-elected in the February 25th polls, acknowledged that the development would come as a surprise, and he offered an apology to voters.
I sincerely regret the disappointment and inconvenience that this will cause. I wish to thank all the constituents of District 4 and the territory of the Virgin Islands for allowing me to serve you for 4 terms in the House of Assembly. The privilege was given to me to serve 2 of those terms as a Minister of Government. It is appropriate for me to make this a public apology to the electorate of District 4 and all residents for my decision on the heels of the recent election.
Vanterpool said he was dedicated and honest in serving the people, and he said he would continue to serve the BVI.
I pledge to serve my country in other ways outside of politics. God spare my life. I wish Premier Honorable Andrew Foy and his team well. His government and or any future governments can feel free to call on me for my advice that I can share with them from the experience that I have gained. I have already reached out to them as our new leaders. I also wish my former colleague, Honorable Marlon Penn, leader of the opposition, well in his new role. I am confident that Honorable Penn will do well in his role along with the other opposition members. Disappointing as this announcement may be, I wish to thank you once again for allowing me to take a back seat from my political life. I will continue to serve and help to develop my country in a private capacity.
Vanterpool was one of only 3 members of the National Democratic Party who won seats in last month's elections. The party was ousted from power by the Virgin Islands Party, which took 8 of the 13 seats in the House of Assembly. The Progressive Virgin Islands Movement and the Progressives United won 1 seat each. Bermuda's Premier David Burt has warned that the island is in new and dangerous territory as he asked Britain to dismiss a report recommending that expatriates living there get to vote. He was speaking after tabling a motion against a report by the UK House of Commons Foreign Affairs Committee, which pushed for more rights for British citizens living in Bermuda. Premier Burt said the issue of seeking independence from Britain is a separate matter, and he stressed that his administration would fight the UK's efforts to impose its legislative will on the island.
We have a constitutional relationship right now with the United Kingdom. there are certain persons inside the House of Commons that believe that we should have a different relationship and we should serve as a province of the United Kingdom. If the 50-year settlement between our constitutional affairs will change, then I think that the people of Bermuda will have a different discussion. The motion that we've laid down is calling on the UK government to reject the recommendations. However, as we have seen, there are elements inside the UK House of Commons that wish to push these things on us despite what the government wants to say. So it is a new and dangerous territory that we're in, but from the perspective of the government, we are going to stand by our principles. We're going to stand by the Constitution which we currently have, our current constitutional settlement, which says that UK cannot legislate for our own affairs. And if the United Kingdom changes that position, then we'll have decisions to make here.
Coming up in Caribbean Newsline, the dengue outbreak in Jamaica is reported to be tapering off. Stay with us.
Tell our audience a bit about who is the Lemon Group and what are they about.
Sure.
And then you'll tell us about the Uruguay Group.
Sure. So the Lehman Group is a group of 14 countries that was formed in 2017 to broadcast an emergent consensus across party lines.
And they are calling for verifiable, free and fair elections too?
They are
as a way out? Is that their strategy?
Don't jump up to this non-stop turn and twist.
What up, it's your boy French Montana.
It's me, Smokey Robinson.
It's your boy David Doe.
Hi, I'm Elme.
This is Bucci Banton and I'll be performing live with the Shine Low Band in St. Kitts Music Festival.
Don't miss the 23rd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival, June 26th to June 30th, 2019. Featuring Bucci Banton, Smokey Robinson, Popcorn, and Elme. Also, Davido, French Montana, Fimba, Edwin Yearwood and Crossfire, Coco T, Skinny Fabulous, Shal Marshall, Charlie Black, Farmer Nappy, Nadia Batson, Infamous, New Vibes Band, and many, many more. It will be epic. It will be mind-blowing. It will be jaw-dropping. It will be awesome. The St. Kitts Music Festival, an experience like no other. For more information and to buy tickets, log on to www.stkittsmusicfestival.com.
Welcome back. Jamaica's Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the worst of the dengue outbreak is over. He told Tuesday's sitting of Parliament's Standing Finance Committee that the season started last December with the outbreak declaration, and January and February were very active months, but he said cases have now started to taper off.
Happy to report that dengue is now still very clear and present, so we're not going to be complacent about it, but the virus seemed to have peaked about 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, I'm told by EPI. And so what we're seeing now is a tapering off. Still very sensitive to the Aedes aegypti, the mosquito, and the fact that they're out there, but the team are still in the field, still working, but we have reason to be hopeful that we may get back to normality by March, the end of March.
Minister Tufton said the number of suspected, presumed or confirmed dengue cases stands at 3,444. 1,037 of those were recorded last year, while 2,400 were recorded this year. The Guyana government has given the green light for deaf individuals to get driver's licenses. Minister of National Security Kemraj Ramjatan gave the go-ahead to the police force to begin the process that would make it possible. Newsroom Guyana's Neil Marks reports.
In a statement on Monday, the Ministry of Public Security said the process will be part of a pilot program in A Division, which covers the Georgetown and East Bank areas. 6 persons have been identified to participate in the theoretical and practical driver's examination, the same process any other person goes through to get a license. This agreement was reached during a meeting between the Minister of Public Security, Kamraj Ramjatan, the National Commission on Disability, and the Deaf Association of Guyana. The issuance of driver's license to deaf drivers will only be for private and not commercial vehicles. This is given the present infrastructural development and culture of driving on Guyana's roadways, the ministry stated. The meeting followed a protest on February 18 by a number of deaf citizens who demanded the right to drive. The Deaf Association of Guyana staged a picketing exercise in front of the Ministry of Public Security in Georgetown, demanding that the government repeal the law which prevents deaf persons from driving in Guyana, as they believe it is a violation of their human rights. The pilot program is one of the recommendations agreed to by Cabinet to facilitate the issuance of driver's permit to persons who are hearing impaired. Other recommendations include a rigorous national awareness campaign for the general population.
This week in Newsline Business, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank pilots a digital currency within the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Caribbean Airlines sees increased bookings from its latest campaign, and Belize launches its first female entrepreneurship program.
Newsline Business is brought to you by Solar Dynamics.
The St. Kitts-based Eastern Caribbean Central Bank has signed a contract with the Barbados-based fintech company Baked Inc. to conduct a blockchain-issued central bank digital currency pilot within the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. The ECCB says the agreement was signed late last month, and the pilot project is the first of its kind. It will involve a securely minted and issued digital version of the EC dollar. Caribbean Airlines is reporting an increase in bookings since the launch of its Caribbean Identity campaign in February. CEO Garvin Medera says the results were particularly evident during the just-ended carnival season in Trinidad.
We started it off, of course, with our first stop in Trinidad, then we moved on to Ghana. We're going to Suriname next, then Jamaica, and then Barbados. But the feedback has been so powerful. The whole campaign originated from the idea of one Caribbean, a united Caribbean. And it was so powerful, so profound to see people throughout the region really embracing this.
Over in Belize, the Trade and Investment Development Service has launched the country's first ever female entrepreneurship program. The 6-month program aims to strengthen and improve the leadership and business skills of women.
I think the focus is on training sessions. We're also having activities that will allow them to go out into the respective markets that they serve to get feedback from their customer base to validate their business model.
Participant Lorcia Moore is the owner of Naturally Belize Coconut Products. She says this program will help her to grow her business and develop as an entrepreneur.
In 5 years' time, I feel that I'll be exporting already. So this program is actually a step for me in improving my products, improving myself as an entrepreneur, gaining the necessary leadership skills that I need to reach that stage. One of the areas that I found is my greatest weakness is financing. Being able to project those finance, being able to pitch to investors when it comes to the finance aspect of my business.
Mary-Claire Williams, Newsline Business.
Newsline Business was brought to you by Solar Dynamics.
When we were building in 1984, we decided to get the solar water heater.
We use it up to this morning.
From my home, we get rain 2 days and we still get hot water.
I've had it for 30 years and I have no problems with it up to this day.
All I can say is that anyone who wishes to have a system, try Solar Dynamics.
Solar Dynamics water heater systems are now right through the Caribbean.
And ahead in Newsline Sport, dropped catches hurt Windies as England win the first T20. We'll be right back.
In what had to be the greatest example of a slow news week, the media was reporting that a rat native to Australia has apparently become extinct. And the reason for the extinction is, wait for it, climate change. Living on a small northern island near the Great Barrier Reef, the rat, known as the Bramble Cay melomys, has been moved from the Australian government's endangered list to the extinct list, making it the first known mammal, according to the report, to be killed off by climate change.
Girls jump up to this, non-stop turn and twist.
What up, it's your boy French Montana.
It's me, Smokey Robinson.
It's your boy Davido.
Hi, I'm Elme.
This is Buju Banton, and I'll be performing live with the Shiloh Band in St. Kitts Music Festival.
Don't miss the 23rd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival, June 26th to June 30th, 2019. Featuring Buju Banton, Smokey Robinson, Popcorn, and Elme. Also, Davido, French Montana, Fimba, Edwin Yearwood and Crossfire, Coco T, Skinny Fabulous, Shal Marshall, Charlie Black, Farmer Nappy, Nadia Batson, Infamous, New Vibes Band, and many, many more. It will be epic. It will be mind-blowing. It will be jaw-dropping. It will be awesome. The St. Kitts Music Festival, an experience like no other. For more information and to buy tickets, log on to www.stkittsmusicfestival.com.
We continue with sports now. Nicholas Pooran's career-best half-century was overshadowed by West Indies' shoddy fielding effort as England breezed to a 4-wicket win in the opening T20 International of the 3-match series on Tuesday. Defending 161 at the Darren Sammy National Stadium after the left-handed Pooran slammed a top score of 58, the hosts lost 4 chances for dismissals and England capitalised to reach their target with 7 deliveries remaining. Man of the match, Johnny Bairstow, stroked 68 of 40 deliveries, while Joe Denley chipped in with 30 of 29 balls. West Indies left-arm pacer Sheldon Cottrell finished with figures of 3 for 29.
That's the first ball. He went for 6. And that's the second. So England were off to a flyer. And Indy started to drop catches. Would have been a good catch. An eventful first over. Sheldon Cottrell saluting again. Johnny Bairstow was off and running down the leg side. Joe Root without scoring. Reviewed, but had to go. Bairstow was powerful. 16 fours and 3 sixes in England's 161. Players always looking for maximums. There were chances for the Windies. There's something they will look at from this game. The fielding's got to be better. Bairstow marched on, got 50. End of the captain. Another down. Into the wind. Joe Denley quickly into his stride. And Denley and Billings batting together was a good combination for England. Denley against the breeze again, it doesn't land. All looked as if the damage was done. This is next ball, down it went. Here he goes, here he goes. 3 for 29 for Cottrell, and then Tom Curran ended proceedings.
Solid win.
Well, after the match, West Indies captain Jason Holder lamented the side's poor fielding at crucial stages of the game.
Scrappy
In the field, I felt the wicket was a little bit too paced, and it still had some good carry and good bumps in it as well. A little variable as well too, but just having said, I thought 160 at half a stage wasn't a bad score. I just didn't feel we helped ourselves in the field. We had too many extras, and we're still putting on a few chances.
Meanwhile, England captain Owen Morgan gave his side kudos for their all-round performance.
I thought the bowlers were magnificent. Taking early wickets really did put us on the front foot because it's something that we struggled to do this whole white ball tour. I thought our seam bowlers did an incredible job, and then followed up by a fine spell of bowling from Adil Rashid. Obviously Chris Jordan came back in and bowled really well, and Tom Curran ended up with 4 wickets, but I really thought Adil did an incredible job today.
The second T20 International is set for Warner Park in St. Kitts on Friday. West Indies women batting star Hayley Matthews will lead Barbados in the Regional Women's Championship, which bowls off in Guyana next week. The 20-year-old, who is the current Windies vice-captain, takes over the helm of the national squad from fast bowler Shakira Selman, who will serve as a vice-captain. Matthews will lead a squad that includes fellow Windies players Selman, Deandra Dottin, Shamilia Connell, and the twin Kaisia and Kishona Knight. Other squad members, Charlene Tate and Danielle Small, have West Indies experience, but neither has played at the highest level in 9 years. The championship, divided into the Super 50 and T20 Blaze, runs from March 14th to April 4th. And that's the sport. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
When we were building in 1984, we decided to get the solar water heater.
We use it up to this morning. From my home, we get rain 2 days and I still get hot water.
I've had it for 30 years and I have no problems with it up to this day.
All I can say is that anyone who wishes to have a system, try Solar Dynamic.
Solar Dynamics water heater systems are now right through the Caribbean.
Become part of a family of over 2.5 million people in 16 Caribbean countries. When you join a credit union, you're not just a member, you are part owner. Join a credit union today. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Confederation of Credit Unions.
Okay guys, so we have cut up the onion, the shallots and stuff like that, the pepper. We have everything ready and we are ready to cook now. We've also grated the coconut and added the water, ready to squeeze into this head of leaf. So that's the onions here. The shallots.
Again, the major developments of this day: a meeting between Guyana's president and opposition leader ends with no agreement on elections, even as a constitutional deadline approaches. And in sport, dropped catches hurt Windies as England wins the first T20. That's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport around the clock, subscribe to canonnews.com, and for more of our programming, log on to Caribvision and check out our YouTube channel. We'll be back here tomorrow, but from all of us at CMT News, thank you for watching and have yourselves a good night.